Have you ever made a choice that changed your life forever? I did. In my desperate longing for a single night of beauty and belonging, I traded years of my life, only to discover it was all for nothing. This is my story. I still remember the quiet hum of our apartment, its dull walls closing in around me every day. I, Emma, had once dreamed of something far grander, a life filled with excitement and beauty. Yet, here I was, confined in a modest apartment with Nathan, my well-meaning but modest husband. Nathan was a clerk, humble and content with his life, but I felt my spirit wilt within those plain walls, my heart yearning for the glittering world beyond. One evening, Nathan came home beaming, clutching an elegant envelope with our names embossed on it. "Emma, darling, look what I have." His eyes shone with excitement as he handed me the invitation. It was for an exclusive gala, an event hosted by his company. I felt a thrill race through me. Finally, a chance to mingle among the refined, to escape the tedium of my life and glimpse, just for a night, the luxury that others lived every day. Yet, as quickly as the excitement came, it faded into bitter despair. What would I wear? I had no beautiful dress, no jewels to adorn myself, no dazzling accessories. I turned to Nathan with sorrow in my eyes, and he understood immediately. Seeing my distress, he suggested that I use the money he had saved for a little vacation to buy a gown. I hesitated, but my desire to shine was too great to ignore. The next day, I selected a dress that made me feel radiant. But still, something was missing. An exquisite dress would be incomplete without a necklace, something that would catch the light and make me feel as beautiful as I dreamed. My friend Clara came to mind, wealthy and generous, always adorned with luxurious jewelry. She might lend me a piece for the evening. With my heart pounding, I went to Clara's apartment. As I stood in her grand living room, surrounded by beautiful things, I felt a pang of envy, but quickly dismissed it. Clara welcomed me warmly, and without hesitation, offered her jewelry box for me to choose. My eyes fell upon a diamond necklace, shimmering with a radiance that took my breath away. "Are you sure?" I asked, barely daring to hope. "Of course," Clara smiled. "Enjoy it, Emma. You deserve to feel beautiful." Her words soothed the bitterness in my heart, and I left, clutching the necklace like a precious secret. On the night of the gala, I stepped out of our modest car and felt eyes turn toward me. For the first time, I felt like I truly belonged in that glittering world. The evening flew by in a daze of laughter and admiration. People were drawn to me, complimenting my dress, admiring Clara's necklace. I was no longer just Emma, the wife of a humble clerk. I was a vision, someone who sparkled as brightly as the jewels around my neck. But then, as the night ended and I returned to our apartment, reality struck. Reaching for the necklace, I found nothing but bare skin. My heart stopped, my hands shaking as I frantically searched through the folds of my dress, through my purse, and around the apartment. The necklace was gone. Panic overtook me. I could barely look at Nathan as he realized what had happened. "We'll find it," he assured me, but his voice trembled, the gravity of our situation setting in. We retraced our steps, returning to the gala venue, searching every corner. Hours passed in hopeless desperation, but the necklace was nowhere to be found. With no other choice, we returned home. My mind raced, torn between terror and shame. We could not tell Clara the truth. It would be too humiliating. The only solution was to replace the necklace. The next morning, Nathan and I ventured into the city to jewelry shops we had only ever admired from afar. I felt the weight of my mistake with every step, my heart pounding as I explained to each jeweler what I needed. Finally, we found one who showed us a necklace that resembled Clara's perfectly. The jeweler held it with delicate fingers, but to me, it felt like a heavy shackle, trapping me in its brilliance. The price he named made my head spin. It was an amount far beyond what we could ever hope to afford. Nathan and I exchanged a desperate glance. His face looked paler than I'd ever seen it, yet he simply nodded. "We'll find a way," he whispered. For days, Nathan ran from bank to bank, lender to lender, accumulating loans with soaring interest. We sold what little valuables we had. I parted with things I had once cherished, trinkets that now seemed trivial in comparison to the debt I was incurring. When we returned to Clara with the new necklace, she accepted it without a second glance, slipping it into her jewelry box with a careless smile. She had no idea of the turmoil that simple piece of jewelry had caused, nor the years of sacrifice it would demand of us. And so, the debt took hold of our lives, binding Nathan and me to an existence harsher than any I had ever known. Gone were my idle dreams of beauty and luxury. They were replaced with hours of endless work. I took on any job I could find, scrubbing floors, washing laundry, anything that would bring us closer to repaying our mountain of debt. My hands, once soft, became rough, calloused from years of labor. My face, once proud, became lined with the marks of exhaustion and hardship. Nathan bore it all in silence, working long hours at his job and spending his evenings doing odd jobs for extra income. He never once reproached me, though the weight of my guilt grew heavier each day. I began to wonder if I had ever truly understood him, this man who had sacrificed everything for me, for a single night of borrowed luxury. The years passed, grinding us down, one debt payment at a time. Finally, after 10 long years, the debt was repaid, and I felt a strange hollowness, a mixture of relief and emptiness. I looked at myself in the mirror one evening, barely recognizing the woman who stared back. Gone was the vanity, the longing for wealth and beauty. I had been humbled, shaped by hardship into something unrecognizable. One day, while running an errand, I saw Clara in the street, still radiant, still oblivious to the toll her necklace had taken on my life. She barely recognized me, and I saw her gaze flicker with shock at my appearance. Her perfectly groomed life seemed a cruel contrast to the one I had endured, yet I felt compelled to speak to her. "Clara," I began, my voice steady but worn. "Do you remember the necklace you lent me all those years ago?" She smiled vaguely, clearly struggling to recall.
"Oh, yes.
"That old thing. What about it?" The bitterness rose within me, and yet I spoke as calmly as I could. "I lost it, you know, Nathan, and I spent the last 10 years working to replace it." Clara's expression shifted to one of confusion, then pity. "Emma," she said slowly, "my necklace. It was a piece of costume jewelry. It wasn't real. It couldn't have been worth more than a few $100s. Her words struck me like a physical blow. I felt the world shift around me, the ground crumbling beneath my feet. 10 years of toil, of suffering, of watching Nathan grow older, of seeing my own youth and vitality drain away, all for a necklace that held no value. I managed a faint, bitter smile, masking the turmoil within me. Clara left me with a casual farewell, her steps light, free of the burden that had consumed my life. And as I watched her go, I felt a strange sense of clarity, a revelation that both freed and condemned me. I walked home, no longer feeling shame or regret, but rather a quiet resignation. Life had taught me its lesson, a lesson of pride, of foolish ambition, of the cost of vanity. The years of suffering had left their mark on me, but I realized now, more than ever, that I had paid a price for a dream that was never mine to begin with. And so, that was my story, a hard lesson in pride, ambition, and the cost of chasing dreams that were never truly mine. If I've learned anything, it's that true wealth isn't in what sparkles, but in what lasts. Thank you for joining me on this journey. What would you sacrifice for a moment of luxury? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.
Until next time.